Mastering phrasal verbs, identification and correction. Hello learners! In today's lesson, we'll be digging deep into the world of phrasal verbs, more specifically, identifying and correcting errors with them. Phrasal verbs can be a bit tricky, but they're a vital part of English. So, let's get started. Before we dive into identifying errors, it's important to understand what a phrasal verb is. A phrasal verb is a combination of words, typically a verb and one or two particles, a preposition, an adverb, or both, that create a meaning different from the original verb. For example, give up is a phrasal verb where give is the main verb and up is the particle. It means to quit or stop trying, which is different from the original verb, give. People often make a couple of common mistakes with phrasal verbs. The first is using the wrong particle. For instance, saying, look on, instead of, look up, to mean searching for information. The second common mistake is placing the object of the phrasal verb incorrectly. Remember, if the object is a pronoun, it must go between the verb and the particle. For example, I will pick it up is correct, while I will pick up it is incorrect. Now, let's work on identifying errors in sentences with phrasal verbs. Here's a sentence. She called at him from across the street. Does it sound correct? No, it doesn't. The correct phrasal verb should be called to, so the sentence should read, she called to him from across the street. When identifying errors, look for 1. Incorrect particles. Ensure the right particle is used with the verb. 2. Misplacement of objects. Especially pronouns must go between the verb and the particle. After identifying an error, the next step is correcting it. Let's take another example. He looked up the word in the dictionary it. Here, the object pronoun, it, is misplaced. The correct sentence should be, he looked it up in the dictionary. Practicing with example sentences is one of the best ways to master phrasal verbs. Try to identify and correct the errors in these sentences. 1. She went to her feelings instead of bottling up them. 2. I need to overwork before the presentation. The corrected sentences are 1. She went to bottling them up instead of her feelings. 2. I need to work it over before the presentation. And that's a wrap for today's lesson on identifying and correcting errors with phrasal verbs. We hope this has been helpful, and remember, the key to mastering phrasal verbs, like any other aspect of language, is practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing and you'll surely get the hang of it. Until next time, happy learning!